What's up guys, Travis with TCustomz Productionz, TCustomz.com. Today I'm going to start a new little mini-series on Throwback Thursdays. It's going to be a Throwback Thursday beat breakdown, revisiting some older sessions that I never got to shoot a video on. I'm going to be starting with the TCustomz Beat Tape Volume 2. There's about 7 or 8 instrumentals. These are some of the tracks, the older beats that I really have full access to the sessions on. Some of you guys know transferring files and going through computers over the years, sometimes you might not have access to the original sessions from your older track. First track I'm going to break down today is called Dealt With. I got the session open here. I'll show you guys how I put this together in Ableton Live. So one thing you'll notice right here, you'll see these two sample tracks here. This is actually the same track duplicated. You'll see that one's panned hard left and one's hard right. Now I did this kind of after the fact. Started with a single sample track. I went through and triggered my samples. I got my sample sequence, and then later decided that I wanted more width to this sample in the way that it's set in the mix. And so I ended up duplicating it and doing a hard left pan, hard right pan. So that's kind of why I've got the two sample tracks here, so just keep that in mind. I'm actually going to be triggering these both at the same time, a little snippet of what the sample sounds like. As many of you know, I like to add my delay, my filters. Now this is a separate filter. This might look kind of redundant, add some separate automation. I did pitch the track down a couple half steps. This is kind of what those chops sound like. The main sample sequence. I really like the energy of this sample overall, so this gave me a good foundation, a good 8 bars to start working with. Next, I programmed a kick and a snare pattern. What you'll see for the kick, got 2 kicks, and then I've also added an Ableton Live kick huge warm. As you can see here is an effects chain. You got a compressor, an EQ, and a dynamic tube, and you can go in here and manipulate these further. So if you're using Ableton Live, I would recommend just getting experimenting with these if you haven't already, whether you use them or not. Anyway, I use it on this track, so I've got my main kick track that sounds like this. Okay, and then onto the snare track, you'll see I've got one snare in here, nothing layered, and I did a snare basic. So again, this is another effects plugin for drums in Ableton. So next we just have a few percussive shaker and hi-hat tracks. The sequence programs here. Nothing too crazy, just something to get a little movement going. Open hi-hat here. And then it looks like another shaker here to kind of just supplement everything else. So here's kind of what those 3 tracks sound like together. Okay, so next in line was the crash. I've got 2 crashes that I'm alternating here. You've got a simple delay and reverb. Now the reason why I have this little quick 1-1 delay here with a somewhat dry medium feedback is just kind of to extend, like if you ever have a crash or a sound that just kind of stops abruptly, sometimes manufacture kind of like an extended tail on that sound. You gotta be careful and just kind of use your ear with it. You can experiment with those short delays, and obviously reverb is gonna help carry that sound as well. You get the kick snare crash, percussion, and the sample. Bass sound. I'm using a bottom bass pad. I can't remember exactly where this came from. I've got this loaded into a sampler, so it's just a one shot that I spread across a MIDI controller. Did some additional processing to this particular sample and included this in the bass sample pack for those of you that have it. I can't remember which number bass patch it is in that pack. So it was a fairly simple bass line. You can see the MIDI notes here. revisited the sample. Little sample right here. Little delay, reverb, S1 imager for those of you who are using the Waves bundle. A little additional reverb. And so this is kind of what that sounds like. One other thing I forgot to mention is I have a random panning that's added to this sample. So you'll notice every time it's triggered, it comes in at a different part of the stereo field. Just adds a little more variation to that. Added some chimes with a little bit of reverb just to kind of transition the turnaround every 8 bars. So that was pretty much it. The only thing else was just a little intro, arranging everything out. It was structured in verse, hook, then a breakdown, and then the hook again is the way that this particular track was structured. You may have seen in the session. But anyway, this concludes the first Throwback Thursday beat breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of this, if you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. There'll be a link in the description to the full instrumental album, as well as some of the sounds that were used in this particular beat and some of the other tracks that you're going to hear in the future weeks. Stay tuned for those. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. Peace.
I can see that hungry look in your eye, that you're trying to find the words to express yourself, but I don't think that it would be wise to rush me or yourself. Custom.
This is a TCustomz Productionz. This is a TCustomz Productionz. This is a TCustomz